All right, I think we are live, or we will be shortly. Yay! Hey guys. Okay, I think we're all set. Yay, we have sound. Awesome, awesome. I am going to go ahead and play the intro, guys, and we're going to get started. Yay! All right, I had a request to do box card bouquet card. I'm not 100% sure that I did exactly what they were looking for. I forgot the names. I do apologize. But this is what I came up with, and this is the file. But I want to cover a couple of things because I want you guys to know that box cards are very versatile, and you can use this one file and save it as a base and create all sorts of different box cards. Okay, so first of all, thank you to all my supporters, my Patreon, Ko-fi supporters, and all of my channel membership subscribers. Thank you so very, very much, and a great big shout out and a hug to all of my moderators who have been busy, busy, busy with us this week and this previous weekend. As some of you know, we lost the group twice, 3 times. Facebook glitches. But we're back. But I just want to say, if you have not registered on craftingwithapril.co, I urge you to do that. Should anything ever happen to the group, I can go live or I can go and do a recorded video on YouTube, but if you're not subscribed and have on notifications, you're not going to know. When something like that happens, I will email out just so that you guys know I haven't blocked everybody in the group, and I have not removed everybody from the group, and I haven't closed the group down. But if you're not registered on craftingwithapril.co, then you're not going to get that heads up, and you're going to be sitting there in the dark should something happen, because that is my main way to make sure that I reach everyone. Okay? So if it ever happens, make sure you check those emails or you message me, whatever, and make sure that that's what's going on. It counts. That's right, Louise. It does count. It's a box card. It has a box, so don't fret. It does have a box. We actually call it a dimensional envelope, but it's actually a box. It's an envelope box. So got both of them here. I have set this file up, guys, and you can cut this piece or these pieces. You don't need both. The one I put together in the photo, and I'm going to show you, I use these, and tonight we're going to use this. I cut these pieces. Hi, Tammy. I cut these pieces from the Cricut veneer, and I will show you guys all of what I used here in a moment. I did use Design Space files for all of these things, flowers and stuff like that. Guys, you can take these out, whatever you want to do, use what you want. You don't have to use these, okay? The only thing you really need are the panels and that card base. And you can even eliminate this and create your own panel for the front. These are the inserts. The reason I have these oval and this circle on top of these is just to give a little extra support because of the type card with rolled flowers on there and it being dimensional and needing that dimensional envelope. It could get a little top heavy. So this is just mainly for support reasons. And when we go and put this together, I'm going to show you a couple of other things, or mention a couple of other things that you can also do. So if you don't want some of this to show in your card design, in case it shows, I wanted it to have a nice little edge instead of being straight across. But if you don't want that, you can certainly slice that off or just insert a square and put your score lines on there. Because the box cards, basically almost all box cards are going to go together exactly the same way. Okay, they're going to be different shapes and different sizes sometimes. And what I mean by that, I made this one square when it's put together. All of these panels are the same. If you want it to be wider in the front, you can lay one of these out just like this by using a square and inserting some cut lines at the top and score lines at the bottom and down across the middle. Very super simple, easy design to recreate. Keep in mind, if you want that front to be wider, panel number 1 and panel number 3, this one being 1, this one being 3, they need to be the wider ones. These are sides, and you might want to make them a little shorter because you still want them to fit in your envelope. And I'll show you that when you change the size of those, when it's folded flat, it's going to change the width of your card. So you'll need to make an envelope to accommodate it. Okay, so we'll cover that. This file is available to every supporter on Ko-fi and Patreon. It is up at craftingwithapril.co. You can go and get that file. If you are not a supporter, if you want to do one-time support, you can do one-time support tonight on Ko-fi before midnight Eastern Time, and you can get this file. After tonight at midnight, you would have to be a monthly supporter in order to get that. Okay? And if you have any questions, guys, put them in caps so that the moderators can see them, and we can... I'm showing that the stream is good. You may need to refresh, Michelle. And it could be some of the internet, some of those internet providers may still be having some issues. So just be aware of that as well. But refreshing might help. So let's go over to the overhead. If I can get it to transition for us here. Yay, there we are. And we're going to take a look at the card. And here is the envelope, and all I did was tie some twine around it for decoration. And then this is just going to slip out the back, and it's going to slip in. Now, if you want to do sticky on yours, you can certainly do that. And then the card comes out, and don't pay any attention to my boo-boo on here. I'll point it out to you if you don't catch it. But I have my flowers here. I have some rolled flowers, all of those things. These sticks were actually supposed to be on the front of this panel, and I made a boo-boo because I was putting it together this way to make sure it would fit in my envelope, and I messed up. But it still came out cute. But I used the Cricut wood veneer for the sticks. I had my Cricut write on them, so you can see that, the birthday wishes. And then we just did some rolled flowers. You can change this theme up to use anything you want to use. Okay, if you want to make it a fishing card, make it a fishing card, because it's going to depend on the papers that you pick. Okay, and the butterfly back here, I just had the Cricut draw on that because it was so tiny. I didn't want to have to cut it 2 or 3 times if my paper didn't want to cooperate, or my mat. So you can opt to have yours cut and make it really lacy. You can have it draw on there, any of those things that you want. But it will fold flat in either direction, or almost flat, to fit inside of your dimensional envelope. And I made this 1-inch dimensional, and that's just in case you guys wanted to change up the theme and yours was thicker than what mine was. I probably could have done a 1/2 inch width, but we didn't. I wanted to make sure that it was for everybody, no matter what you did. So let's start. This is the little piece that I put in there. I'm going to do like a little window trellis on this one instead of the sticks. I have both of them, so I'll use these on another project. Who has not used the Cricut veneers yet? Because, guys, this stuff cuts really, really well. I'm just grabbing up my stash of papers that I used for this file. And I meant to cut some more of the flowers, but I didn't. I have my scrap papers here. I use Cricut Red for my flowers, in case you guys are asking. I use this pink sheet out of the Scentsy sampler pack from Cricut. So it's a multicolor pack, but I used the lightest pink out of there. I used the Cricut, I used the Cricut green. It is the leaf green from Cricut as well. And then I also used a green just to be a shade different. It's not much, but it is slightly different in color. This is a Michaels paper in the Recollections, those 8.5 by 11 packs. I think it came out of the Earth pack. And I did not use that blue. It should not be in here. I changed my mind. The base card and everything, I used the Cricut Cream cardstock. I did for my panels, I did use this French Country pattern. I've had this for a while, guys. I don't know if it's still available. I bought it, I don't know, last year, year before, at Tuesday morning or somewhere like that. But it's called French Country, and it is die cuts with a view, DCBW. DCWV, I'm sorry. And then again, Cricut Red. And then I used the cherry veneer is what I used out of that wood. And that's about it. Oh, I did use the Cricut white for the envelope, but I'm just going to say for my envelope, I wished I had cut it from 100 pound and not 80. So, but I've already cut mine, and so I'm going to use it just to show you guys how to put it together. But guys, this veneer is very easy to work with. But I just want to say that when you cut it, make sure that you cut it, the grain is not going to flop on you. Let me see if I can get this camera up just a little bit higher to get that in there for you. What I mean by that is when I stand it up this way, I'm cutting in this direction so that it doesn't flop, okay? This way you can see that it bends and falls over, like so. I don't want to cut. I want to cut so that it's standing straight up and it won't have that curve to it. So make sure you cut the grain the right way for this project. Now, if you're doing something you want it to curl, of course you're going to cut it the other way. And then I'm just going to save these little pieces for elements on another card. I can use those to stick on there. I can even put a couple on the envelope here so that it dresses up the front a little bit. We're going to start with our envelope. You got a piece like this, and you're just going to fold on both of those score lines. Oh no, Michelle. I hope you're recovering well. That reminds me, I have oral surgery Friday. It was supposed to be tomorrow, but my dentist had her baby, and they had to postpone me to Friday with the other dentist. So I might be a little bit out of the loop on Friday. So we're just folding on all of our score lines on both envelope pieces. There's little tabs in. And then we have 2 score lines right here. Alright, so you have your pieces looking like this, and I'm using art glitter glue, guys. And I'm just placing it on this first tab. Okay. I'm just going to kind of fold that tab over and place it right along the edge where the 2 little tabs are. I'm just going to get it in there and get it in there straight. A little rub. So your box should be looking a little bit like this right now. And then I'm just going to bring these tabs in. And we're going to glue them right there, creating a corner. Make sure you get it good and flush. Not like that. There we go. I'm going to get it in there in just a second. I'm going to turn it up this way just so you guys can see. Give it a little press. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball right where this is supposed to sit because I don't want to put glue up here on the top. I'm just going to run it down this edge and then along this edge. So inside edge, outside edge. I'm going to do the same here. Inside edge, outside edge. And then we're just going to plop it down and glue that right flush to the edge. And I've got my finger on the inside just to press that down. And if you do get glued just over it, just wipe that off because you don't want your flap to stick, especially before you get the card in there. And that creates the envelope. I then just pulled off some twine. Oh wow. And guys, I just cut whatever. I don't measure it when I do this because I can cut it off if I don't need it. I just cut a length of it off. And I'm just going to wrap it around the box a couple of times. 2, maybe 3. I'm going to give myself enough of a tail here to tie it. And I'll tie this one right about here up on here on the left side. Doesn't matter what side, you could put it on either side that you want. I'm just going to bring all of those together. I'm just going to loop this up under just so it brings them together a couple of times. I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Doesn't have to be tight, just enough snug so that it stays on. I may have it a little too tight. There we go. Don't want to get it too tight like I have mine right there. But it'll be okay. Stretch it just a tiny bit. There. So make sure you don't get it too tight. And then I'm just going to tie a couple of loops here. And then we'll just make it pretty from that point. All right, and that completes the envelope, and then you'll just, of course, put the top down and then adjust it to where it needs to be. And if you feel like you need to glue it on the sides or whatever, you can do that. I didn't feel the need for it, but you most certainly can. Yes, a Teflon bone folder. I love this thing. This is my favorite tool. I had one and lost it, and I couldn't find one for years, and Jamie was kind enough to. She found one and got it for me. Okay, so now I'm going to bring the card elements over. We're just going to put that envelope out of the way. And we got lots of tiny pieces for this one, but it's okay. So this is what your card looks like. This first one does not get folded, okay? Is that a little too high? Is that better, guys? I don't want to make anybody drunk, but I want to make sure that you guys can see. Well, that looks better. So the first one doesn't fold, but the second, the third, and they've got score lines. The third, I don't know how I missed that. I missed my score line. Oh, yeah. And then the fourth one will also get folded. Okay, and then you can fold those back up out of your way. Then you're going to fold on each of the sides all the way across on each one of those scores. I need my lamp, but I don't want it to wash out too bad. When I'm working with light colors, it can do that. I did a glue erase thing over here earlier, and now it's everywhere. Okay, and then you have a tab right here also. Fold that on the score. And then you're just going to glue this tab. And the way I'm doing it is I just fold this first flap in and the second flap over and just give it a good press. Okay, and then that's the back where your seam is. Okay, then you have a panel, and I did the little chicken wire out of that pack that I had, that French Country, and we're just going to put that on this back. You can also use this to stamp your sentiment. If you want to stamp your sentiment, stamp it and then put it on here, or you can handwrite your note, whatever it is that you want to write on there, and that goes right back here. You can do it afterwards, but it's going to be a little tricky because you're going to have things on the front, so that's not going to lay completely flat. So make sure if you're going to be writing on this or stamping on it, you do it at this step or prior to putting it on here. Okay? Same goes with this next piece. If you're going to write something or stamp something on this piece of the back, that you do it prior to putting it on this one. And I use that same little chicken wire just to give it a little element. You can always add another panel too if you forget to write on it and you want to put something and then use that for your border. You can put a little inset panel on there. Okay, next, guys, this card is so super easy. You're not going to believe how super simple it is. And then we're going to put these panels on. And again, if you want to add more panels and use this maybe as a base, as a peekaboo panel, and put another one on the top, just keep layering it up, because this base can be used for many, many different cards. We're just going around and placing those in there. just going to kind of lay it flat so I can mush those down. Spread that glue around. And you want to put those, make sure that your panels are down. You don't want to put it on the wrong side of your card. Just going to smush that one. And our card is really coming together really quick. The decorating takes the most time. So now you have two panels just like this. And the taller one goes to the back. Or if you chose to cut yours off, you can do that. Now when you're stabilizing your pieces, if you find that you have a piece that's floppy or you want a piece that's floppy, you can use cellophane or transparencies to give those a little bit more spring on there. But I'm just folding that, making sure that it fits. And we're going to go just on this panel here and this one over here. And placement, guys, doesn't matter except how you want yours to be. As close to the back or center, wherever you want it, so that you can put your pieces in there like you want. And I'm just going to press that down on this side. And I'm just going to make sure it's even over here. And then I'm just going to squeeze it, give it a little squeeze, and then I'm going to fold it back the other way and give it a little squeeze. Okay? And if you've got any glue in there, it's going to be okay as long as you take it out and let it dry really quick before you fold it flat. Give it time to dry before you put it in the box. You can use tape for these. I just like to use glue. But like I said, just make sure that your glue, if it gets on the edges or if you're a messy gluer like me, you get that cleaned up before you mash this flat into its envelope or you're never going to get it open. Again, just on those two tabs and my finger. And I'm going to bring this one a little bit more to the front. I'm just going to kind of mash it down. I'm going to fold it the other way and mash it down. And then you're just going to give it a minute to dry so it kind of looks just like that. Okay, shorter one in the front, taller in the back, or if you opted to cut yours off, that's fine too. Make sure you get it down in there flush. I let mine slide, and it's kicked up just a tiny bit, but it'll be okay. I can trim it off later with my True Control knife. So my next step, I'm going to just get this out of the way. I'm using a couple of little foam dots right here on my sentiment. And you can get those on Amazon, Scrapbook, Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Close to My Heart. We have links down below. I'm just going to line that up. Pop it right on the front. That way it gives it just a little bit of dimension. Okay? Oh no, Pat. I know, I hate when they did, I had mine done back in January. It was horrible. So, I don't know, I just kind of wing this, guys, however you want to do it. Now, you can ink the edges. I did ink these. I'll do one just so you guys know what I mean by inking. Some of you know, some of you don't. So, I'm just going to pull out. And I am using a pigment ink. This is Espresso from Close to My Heart. And I'm just going to take a dauber and just tap it. And you can see this a ton of ink. I don't really need that much. I'm just going to dab it off on my Teflon sheet, or you can do it on a sheet of paper. And I'm just going to come in here and ink up these leaf edges. This will bring your cards up on another notch with dimension. You can see the difference that it makes. Okay, so it's going to add a little dimension to your cards, or depth, I should say, not dimension. You can also ink them before you pull them off your mat with the other paper surrounding it, and that way you can swirl on and swirl off. But these are so tiny and delicate, I'm not doing it that way. I'm just kind of dabbing it just a little bit. This one is textured. And I didn't go all the way down on these. I just kind of just did the top parts of those. Okay? And you'll want to clean that up with a baby wipe. It is ink and it will get on everything. Okay? So you want to use a sheet of paper you're right through there on that trellis. So it looks like it grew in there. Use your imagination. You guys can do this. I promise you can. And then I'm going to decide if I want it to go to the front or if I want it to go to the back. And I think I want it to go to the back of this one. So the next thing you want to do is, once you have it, I can see where I want to put this. So I've just about got it. I want that to stick up just a tiny bit. Then I'm going to fold my card flat with it there. And I'm going to check and make sure that it's still going to fit in my envelope. And oops, no, it's not. I have it too tall. Okay? So you'll want to check that, make sure that it's not going to bend it up, and then you'll need to adjust accordingly. So I'm just going to pull this down just a tiny bit. Maybe go in the second one there. And you don't have to thread it through there like I did. I could always snip that off the top too. There, that's going to fit. So now I know where I want it, and it's got to come right down the base of that. So I'm going to put some glue on this wood piece, right down there on the base of it. And I'm going to bring it in. I'm just going to glue it down right there. Do a little wiggle. There we go. And again, I can trim that off should I need to. How cute is that? It does take the wood just a moment to dry. Am I out of view? I'm sorry. Let's see. Let me adjust. Is that better, guys? So we're just going to check it again. And I do have it still just a little bit too tall. So I'm just going to just trim my leaf up a little bit, make him a little smaller. It'll be okay. There we go. So keep that in mind when you're placing your pieces in here. And I'm just going to work off of that. So let's work with our flowers. And this one, I just use my tweezers to roll these guys because they are so small. So I'm just going to clip it with my tweezers. These are my pinchy tweezers. I'm just going to roll it up. It doesn't even matter if it's tight, loose, just as long as we get it to roll. I'm just going to let it go. And then right there on that little tab, Put a little dot of glue. And you can use hot glue for this. I didn't find it necessary. I just kind of drug the center right into the glue and just held it. And then we'll set that one to the side. And then we're going to do the same thing with the others. And you can see it'll get loose, get away from you. They're tiny, guys. They are tiny. Just kind of wind it like spaghetti and let it go. It'll be fine. And I'm just going to pull it out of the way and get that base piece. And then just press it down. There are 4 of these. I meant to roll these up and have these done before the live, and I just forgot them. Just want to get a little curl on them. They don't have to be perfect. They will look perfect when you're done. And that glue in there will dry matte and clear. Roll them as tight or as loose as you want. Missing. It will work out. I promise. These little flowers are so versatile and they will work out. I'm not treating them with kid gloves or being gentle. I'm just rolling them up. Pinch and roll. I did bend that one before I got it tangled up with the other one. I'm just going to go back in and rewind him. There we go. And you can put Nouveau drops in the center of these. They are roses, but you don't have to use them like roses if you don't want to. You can make them look like other flowers. Okay. So we'll just set those to the side. And now this piece, there are several large ones, and I didn't pay attention to any rhyme or reason as how I was doing these guys. I just kind of cupped just a little bit, and then I put a dot of glue on there, and I just started sticking them. Just to give it a little dimension, get the leaves in between the other leaves, that kind of thing. There are larger ones and smaller ones, and I just kind of overlap them. Some of these I did 2 on the large ones, but I'm just kind of layering that up. You can pop dot it, anything like that that you want to do. I just put another single right there. I doubled up that top one. I'll double up that one there too. This one's a small one, so I'm just going to stick it down here. These little bitty ones. And we're just adding dimension on these. You don't need a lot of glue. Whatever's on the nozzle there. Oops. I need to move my mouse out of the way. And you can mix and match these up with other colors on it if you want. And again, change out the entire decorative pieces in the file. You don't have to use these. I think I'll save a couple of those to scatter about. And I'm just going to do a little center on one of those. And that's all I've done, guys. It's just kind of crinkle them up. You can cup them if you want, but they're so tiny that's not needed. It's just going to add just a teeny tiny little bit of dimension at the angle. It's hard to see on camera, but you will see it later. So then I'm going to decide which ones of these I want to use and where I want to put them. I think I'm going to layer this like so. You don't have to use everything in the file. Just going to stick it right there. And then I'm going to bring this to the front of this one. Oh no. Yes, Susan, you can use Nuvo drops to make it look like dew. The ones, this is just a pale yellow or ivory cardstock. It's a shade different off of the Cricut ivory. And it was just a scrap piece that I had. I'm just going to pop one there. And I'm just going to put a little one on top of that. I say I am, if it wants to stick. There we go. Things are landing. I used my other tweezers for another project. I was finishing up my noodle board, and I grabbed my tweezers and used them for weeding. I had everything sat right here so I would have it for my video, and then I moved it. Just going to cup that one just a little bit. Add one there. Why not? I need to fill my glue bottle. And right there. I don't even know if I need my other green pieces for this one. I don't think that I do. I think I'm gonna, like I said, they're in the file. I used them on this one. I don't think I'm gonna use them on this one. So it's an extremely versatile file, and you can do tons of things with it. Just putting some glue on the back of the rose there. I think I'm going to put one right there. I'm going to fold it flat and move that out of the way so that it will fold. This one came out a little rough. I knew when I bent it, I'm going to eliminate that one. I don't like the way he turned out. I knew when I bent that cardstock earlier. And you can pop dot these too if you want. Drop him right there. How cute is this? And then I'm just going to add my butterfly. I'm just going to fold it kind of right there in the middle just to give it a little bend. I'm going to put a pop dot. And I think I want to put him right there. No, I don't like him there. Come off of there. I don't know where I want to put him. How about right here? There we go. How cute is that? Super easy, super simple, guys. Easy to do box card. Let me see if I can lessen that exposure a little bit. Maybe that will help. All right, super easy, super simple. It will fold flat. It will go in there. Just make sure you're checking. It is a dimensional. You can see that it's got some dimensions in there, and it depends on how you build yours up as to how much envelope you're going to need. Like I said, I did this one at 1 inch. You can recreate it doing it at 1/2 inch if that works better for you. But it's going to give it a little bit of space in there so it doesn't get crushed. Super easy and simple. Okay, so when you're doing box cards, just remember, you can make it anything you want to make it. It doesn't matter. You can use any theme. The main parts are getting your supports in there. And if you've cut them off flush instead of giving them a little bit of rise, or you don't want that rise in there, you can use just straight simple strips to support anything that's tall like this. If it's flopping over, just cut a strip of green in this case, or red, so that it will hold that up so that it stands. This one didn't need it because I went with that oval to give it a little support back there so it's not floppy. Same here. This isn't floppy because I have a support there for that little piece of trellis. Oh, thanks, Pat. So you can do this just for you. You can make it birthday. You can make anything you want. I did add some Nuvo drops to mine. So I've got, here I'm using sugared almond. And like I said, you can make these flowers look any way you want. And you can do more of the rolled flowers here, guys, and make all of these rolled on top of that. That was what that base was originally for. I just didn't use it that way. And of course, Nuvo drops take about 30 minutes to dry. So if you use these, you want to make sure it's good and dry before you fold it flat or stick it in the envelope. So how cute. All right, does anybody have any questions? Yay! Yes, I want to see what you guys do with it. Even if you use the same pieces that I use, that's fantastic. Great. Show me what you did. Pick different colors. If you change the theme and you do a Father's Day theme or a 4th of July theme, you can do anything. Let's see what you guys come up with using this base. I'm going to pop over really quick and show you how to do that so that you can do a second card. So if you're not going to use these pieces, of course you would select them all and delete it. And I'm not going to save this, guys, because I don't want to mess up anybody. But anything that you're not going to use, you can delete out of here. Let's see. Say that you didn't want to use. Right here is all you need in this file. And then you're going to come up here and you're going to do a save as. And then you can name this box card base. And then every time that you want to make a box card, you can open this up, open up your box card base, and then do another save as and name it your box card for that theme, box card 4th of July. But do that save as and you will have, well, I can do a save as. And it shouldn't mess that one up. So I could do this one as a box card base and save it. And now when I go into my projects, I should have both files. So here is file number 1 that I opened up, and here's my base. So if I were going to make a 4th of July, I would click Customize, do a Save As, and name it my box card 4th of July. And then save. And that way I always have my base to work off of. Because a lot of people have asked, you know, can I copy one to the next? No, but you can do this save as and then add the elements that you want without bogging down all of your projects with a ton of stuff, because you don't want all your floral mixed in with your 4th of July card. So now I've got my base still that's untouched. I have my floral themed card over here just for you. And then I have my 4th of July. So you can keep doing that with your base and making as many different themed cards as you want with it. Okay. Does anybody have any other Design Space questions? Oh, thank you, Andrea. Is there a substitute for veneer? Yes, Susan, there is. There is always, you can go to Design Bundles and type in wood grain, or you can look online. You can come in here and put in any shape, including that trellis that I use. I call it a trellis. It is a, oh, what was it? Let's see, I'll just go in there. It is a mandarin block ornament. So let's just go in there and do this one. I'm going to customize, replace. And I won't save this because then people won't be able to open it. So if you don't have veneer to do this with, you can come in here and change this to a no fill and make it a print. Come in here to the color and change it to a pattern. And then I have a wood grain right here. So if you don't have a background, so if you look for at Design Bundles or all over the web really for digital paper, you can come in here and do that. So now I've got this, I'm just going to stretch it. You can see that it's wood grained now. So I can use something like that, and you can go in and edit it and tile it if it's tiled, something like that. And then you can do this on a cardstock. I would say 80 pounds should be fine, or Cricut cardstock, and just cut that so it will print and cut it. And same here. You can go in and make these. Let me ungroup. You can come in here and go to, we're going to detach. You have to detach any writing that's on there. I want just that. We're going to go to print. We're going to change it. We're going to go in. If you have not worked with patterns, you're going to upload your pattern just like you do your SVGs, except you're going to use the upload on the right, and I will show that to you. And you can see here, I have that one. Looks pretty good with that wood grain. Don't really need to do anything to it, but if you want to edit it, you can go in and edit the pattern and make it larger and get a different look on it as well. And you can see how that changed up. So tons of things that you can do. Yeah, if you have a printer and you can do print and cut, there you go right there. And you're just going to bring it back over, and then after you do your print and cut and set it up, you're going to bring it back in and add your writing. You're just going to flatten. You can flatten it or attach it. Attach will have it right with your Cricut pen, and flatten will print it on there for you so you don't have to use your Cricut pen. So 2 ways to do that with your writing on there. So put on your thinking caps. Tons of stuff you can use. Tons of stuff. If you have a really good handwriting, let me come over. If you have a really good handwriting and you don't have the veneer, you could use a popsicle stick in this case. You could stain it with some paints, watered down acrylics to stain them, or leave them like they are. And you can handwrite on your popsicle sticks. Or you could have your writing done on just a scrap piece of paper, like copy paper, with your Cricut, and then tape your popsicle sticks down over them in a strategic places to have it right on there. So tons of stuff. Yes, you could, Pat. Anything, guys, you can use anything as a decorative element on your cards. I love seeing this creativity, but yeah, you could use those little coffee stirrer sticks, Pat. You could do those. You can write on them, decorate them, put Nuvo drops on them. You don't have to have any writing on them. You could just decorate them up with a few Nuvo drops, some swirls or something. You could cut some brown paper and run it through a embossing folder and give it a texture instead of any writing at all. That would be pretty. You can make them shorter, taller. I did make these tall, but they don't have to be tall. Again, they should have been to the back of this one here, and I messed up. But tons of stuff that you can do. Like the little pieces that came out of here. I mean, I could put these down in a pattern just for some accent pieces right on the box here or on the envelope. I mean, that would be super cute. Don't be scared to experiment. Like that's really doesn't have any color right there. Maybe I want a little pop of the wood on the sides there. So lots of stuff you can do. Use those pieces. Use your imagination. You could toss another flower or two over here. But you could go through here and do all of those little things. I could get it on there straight. There we go. And I'll use 2 different sizes over on this side. So that we just kind of tie in all those elements. How cute. That just added another dimension to it. The balsa would probably be light enough. The basswood, it might be a little heavy for this. It's called Nuvo Drops, Michelle. I use them a lot with card making and paper making. This one is called Sugared Almond, but it just creates a dimensional dot. It's hard. It's like a glue, but it's not glue. Have you ever used stickles? Glitter, glitter glues for decorating dots? That's what this does, but you can make any shape that you want. And it's easier than having like 10 or 15 different colors of enamel dots and stuff that come on a little card like this, where you peel them off and stick them on. If having these, you can make your dots any size and shape that you need, and you have a vast variety of color, because there are hundreds of colors of Nuvo Drops. If you've never used them, I encourage you, get at least one bottle in a popular color that you would use a lot, and try them out, play with them, and practice with them, because after I started using them, I use them on almost every paper project I do. Not every, but almost every paper project. It just gives that little pop and gives that little extra oomph to your projects. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Please give a thumbs up, a like. Make sure you share the video. And I will catch you on Monday. We do not have a Friday Facebook Live. I apologize. I couldn't do it last week. I will try to make it up. It depends on how my surgery goes. I had planned to do it this Friday, but because they moved my surgery, I won't be able to. Yeah, it just adds so much more to a project, Louise. You can't beat Nuvo Drops. They're a couple of bucks a bottle now. When they first came out, they were pricey, but now they're very affordable. And you can get those on Amazon, on scrapbook.com. Blitsy went out of business, so can't get them at Blitsy anymore. Keep those projects and stuff coming. Don't forget that there is a suggestion post in the announcement. So if you have something that you want to see done, a project you want me to do, make sure you get it in that suggestion post. Thank you to all of my supporters. Thank you, moderators. I greatly appreciate you all. You have a wonderful night. I'll catch you on Monday.